This is AdTech God, and this is French 101. Welcome to class. The correct pronunciation is can, like a can of soup, not like cans of soup. Now that you've graduated, I'm here to tell you about the AdTech God Crashes Adweek House event happening on June 16th at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be fun, 80s style, and takes place in an absolutely stunning hotel called The Majestic. It's right on the Croisette. If you'd like to attend, go to adtechgodevents.com and register now. Invite your friends at agencies, brands, ad tech, media, publishers, even your neighbor if he happens to be going there with you. Just kidding. But we'd love to see you there. Everyone is welcome, and we're really looking forward to this event. See you at Cannes.
Welcome to Marketecture, where you can get smart fast with in-depth interviews of leading technology executives. I'm Ari Paparo, and I'm joined today by Louqman Parampath, who is the VP of Product and Ads and Commerce for Roblox. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation, Ari. Good to chat with you.
I'm pretty excited about this because I'm not a Roblox user, but my teenage daughter was like totally addicted for a couple of years, and I'd watch her play, and I'd be like, wow, this seems like a world I could learn a lot about. How long have you been there?
6 months. I joined just before Thanksgiving last year.
Do you play much? Are you a big user?
No, again, I'll give you a secret. One of the reasons I joined Roblox is to be in the good big books of my two daughters. They're both avid Roblox users, and I do game quite a bit, but Roblox is something that I've been using more and more of late.
All right. Well, probably many of our listeners are not very familiar with Roblox. So maybe you could just start by giving a sort of an overview of what is this company now, like what is the footprint, and what's your job as head of ads and commerce?
Yeah. Thanks, Ari. So the best way to talk about Roblox is as an immersive gaming and creation platform. So we're not a game by itself. We are a platform that lets developers come in and create great experiences, great games. We have a very, very robust creator community, 3 million plus creators across the globe. Yeah, come in, and people don't realize the scale of Roblox. So that's one thing I would love to talk about. 3 million plus developers coming in and creating games. They make updates, they refresh it. There's a lot of improvement in the platform itself that have driven the adoption by creators across the globe. We have almost 100 million in Q1 of this year. We just had our earnings last week. We announced 97.8 million daily active users.
Wow.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
Our monthly active users in hundreds of millions, clearly. And what we are seeing is, a continuous acceleration in the adoption of the platform, both by creators creating great experiences, by players, users who are actually spending time in these games. The engagement of the platform continues to grow, and increasingly brands are looking at this particular platform as where, they need to be present to reach the much coveted Gen Z audience. Much of our audience is, younger, do trend younger. And one of the things that we're also seeing is, continuous adoption and engagement by the Gen Z audience.
Right. So your audience skews younger than other gaming as well, right?
That would be fair, yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And what is 98.7 million DAOs? Like, where does that put you in the landscape? Who is a good comparison?
I mean, the way to look at it is if you look at the overall larger gaming ecosystem, it's compared to some other channels, you could say that it's not growing as much, but we are the fastest growing platform, perhaps the fastest growing platform within gaming itself, right? If you look at our numbers, they consistently see 20 to 30% year-over-year growth in all of the key metrics we look at, whether it is daily active users, whether it's engagement time, whether it's bookings on the platform, which is microtransactions and digital goods purchased on the platform. So generally, we are one of the, if not the fastest growing gaming platform, and where more and more of the engagement is happening. And one other thing I would quickly raise is with the Gen Z audience, they spend a lot of their time on gaming. Like I have people talk about, 87% of Gen Z audiences do some sort of gaming. And so this is the kind of new form of content consumption that is taking up people's time.
So you mentioned in-game purchases. Is that the bulk of your revenue? What's the revenue breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, we don't break that up.
Sure.
Publicly,
but just in a general sense, like where do you make your money?
Yeah, it's historically, microtransactions and digital goods and experiences. Revenue made an experience on the platform is the vast majority right now.
Yeah. So my preteen daughter, when she was playing like crazy, she was always buying like little tutu to put on her avatar and whatnot. So how does
we also have a currency called Robux currency? So what Robux? So what a lot of players or users do is they buy the currency and spend it on the platform.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. So where does ads fit in? Like, how mature is the ad product? What is the ad product? We'll spend some time on that.
Yeah. We're still in the early days. I think it's fair to say that the company's been doing some work on building on an ad platform and building advertising capabilities. A few things, like I said, because of the reach of the audience and the massive levels of engagement, it's a platform where there's been increasingly a high level of interest from brands. So I know we launched a few ad products and capabilities 2+ years. It's an area where we think there is substantial upside, and that's why I'm here. But at the same time, when you look at what is happening on the platform, a large majority of our users are still not a large majority. Majority of users are still not buying goods. They play on the game. They're not payers, as we call it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are a good number of users are payers, but then there is a real opportunity on users that are not payers. And then one of the key things we focus a lot on ensuring that creators on our platform can continue to build meaningful businesses. We are at a point where last quarter we announced $280 million of payouts back to creators. So we are looking at approximately more than $1 billion that is spent back to creators. So
right,
one of the biggest.
The creators are creating effectively games or experiences on your platform, and they need to be compensated for that. So tell me about ads. So if I'm a creator and I want ad revenue, what are my options and what do I get?
Yeah. If you look at our advertising products, right, our advertising strategy, there are approximately 3 ways to look at it. One is actually offering advertising units to the creators itself. It's a very endemic business where, just like all game developers spend a percentage of their earnings in UA, user acquisition, our game developers would do that. So if you go into Roblox, you would see a tile like sponsored tiles, or if you search for, if a user searches for content, there is also paid search, sponsored search on top of organic search. So one way in which we build our business is offering units for creators to promote their experience and stand out from the rest. This is where they spend a percentage of their revenue back on the platform.
So this is analogous to App Store advertising. The way Apple lets you buy a keyword. So these app developers, these creators want to make more money. So you search for whatever, medieval, sword game, and their ad shows up.
Yeah, exactly. Racing game and so on. It's not just search though. It is also, it's a mix of both organic and paid recommendations on the home screen itself, and different ways in which you can acquire our users.
Okay.
That is correct. But for creators itself, how do they make money, right? Now, like I said, they make money primarily through in-experience purchases and so on. But one of the things we are offering is we have offered historically is additional advertising units inside their experience. And we bundle that together across all of the experiences, all of the games, and sell it, with our targeting and machine capabilities to brands.
Okay.
So that's the way in which they would use advertising as a revenue opportunity. And this is where a couple of years ago we had a few products, and now we are actually pushing out much more standard liquid products like video, rewarded video, and ensuring that creators can easily integrate. And we offer monetization by actually driving demand to those units.
What do these ads units look like? Because 3D environments are always kind of tricky. Are these flat? Do they move with the gameplay? How does the video play work? We'd love to hear some details.
Yeah, that's an excellent question, Ari. So we have a few of those units. Historically, we've had more immersive units that look like billboards that are very native to the immersive experience. So if you're actually, navigating through the 3D immersive experience, there is a billboard that can either be static or play a video, and that would be the ad. That's something we've offered for some time. There are other units called portals we have offered where you can go between experiences and kind of, move between different games. And the big one that we have launched, and we'll love to talk more about it, is what we call as rewarded video, which is a very standard video unit, similar to what you would see in other in-app gaming experiences or gaming apps. And it's a full screen video. It is full screen, takes over the entire screen. It is opt-in by the user. So it's win-win-win for the user, for the creator, and for the advertiser. And if the user opts in because he gets a reward in the game, something like leveling up to the next level or a particular an extra life in the game that you're playing, that offers you an opportunity to watch an ad, get the reward, and then that ad is, like I said, a full screen ad that is just like any other video ad that you would buy in the industry.
Right, and that's like an interlevel kind of thing, usually, right?
It doesn't have to be interlevel.
Doesn't have to be, okay.
But it's a rewarded ad in a very common in gaming experiences where you get a reward that helps you, move further in the game.
Right. Okay. And so the sales of these ads, is it direct sales where your sales force is out, calling on agencies, trying to convince them that Roblox is a good place to put their ads?
Yeah. So the way we look at it is we want this ad to be as standard and as liquid as possible. So we want to bring in standard targeting capabilities, first-party data, third-party data, but also the ability to activate in a way the market chooses to. So we want to meet the market where it is. So we do have direct sales and you can buy through an insertion order, but we also plan to integrate with programmatic partners. And so you can buy through, traditional programmatic modes in which you buy video today.
But to be clear, right now it's direct only?
No, it's both direct and programmatic.
Oh, no, it's both now.
Yeah, you support both direct and programmatic.
Let's talk about the data side. So how are you navigating the young average age of your platform, and how does that relate to data?
Yeah. So we are very careful about how we actually use data on our platform. Our CEO just recently announced publicly, or there was a press from him, an article from that said we are supportive of COPPA 2.0, which is the updated COPPA regulations. So we are very careful about how data is used because we do have a large amount of kids using our platform. And so how we look at it primarily is, by and large, we use contextual ads for COPPA 2.0 for users who are below a certain age as per the regulation. And above that, we use targeting, but mostly first party targeting, our own targeting. Yeah. That is standard in the industry. And we are very, very careful about which we are compliant with all regulations, and we make sure that when we work with partners, we are only sharing data that have full opt-in consent and so on and so forth. Do
you have accurate age information? Because you can sign up for Roblox without using an ID or a credit card, right?
You don't need a credit card. It's an ID plus and you have to provide your age.
Okay. And then in terms of context, this is gaming. So what sort of context is it? Is it genre is the primary context?
Yeah, genre is one. Yeah, genre, and the experience that you are in primarily is one form of contextual information that you would have.
Right. And so what kind of advertisers are attracted to this audience?
Yeah, so a lot of advertisers, because it is typically advertisers who are more looking for the Gen Z audience. So we are talking to advertisers across verticals where that makes the most sense. Entertainment is a great place, right? For instance, when you're launching a new trailer, or as for movies with the specific audience in mind, you would want to actually be on the Roblox platform. It is a great platform to actually do it. Fashion is good. Beauty is another interesting vertical that works quite well on our platform because we do have younger women, Gen Z females on our platform quite a bit. Auto would be one because you can integrate quite well with racing applications, racing cars, and games where you have racing experiences and so on.
Right. Do you give out any numbers about what the size of your advertising business is?
We do not. We do not break it out publicly.
Okay, great. And then in terms of the programmatic capabilities, is there sort of a white list of DSPs that are currently integrated? And is there any other details you give about what they are able to do?
Yeah. So what we did announce, I think it was during Play Friends, in the first week of April in partnership with Google. So what we're doing is we are using Google as part of our tech stack. So we're using Google for some of our ad serving and mediation capabilities, and we will use that to integrate with multiple DSPs. So the way we look at it is Google itself will be one demand partner, their programmatic, DV360, which is their DSP, and GVP, which is their mobile demand source. That will be one programmatic partner. And then we will add a few more programmatic partners using their mediation layer that typically is primarily in the brand bucket right now. So they are trying to reach these Gen Z audiences that you do not get anywhere because increasingly they're spending time on our platform. And then we look at additional other demand sources like performance where, we can actually integrate to those DSPs. So we're working through the next set of partners that we will need to stand up beyond what we have with Google and our direct sales teams.
Got it. And, on previous episodes of this podcast, I've had vendors from the gaming space who've claimed that they can serve ads into Roblox. Do you allow third-party networks into games?
Yeah, we call these independent ads, where a lot of studios that are on the platform, we have a partner program. So effectively, we have a list of partners that work with our creators that have meaningful scale, and they in some scenarios do sell ads on behalf of those creators too. So that does play out in the market. And there are scenarios where we have unique offerings, and there are scenarios in which they have unique offerings which are much more custom and bespoke and deeper integrations that they work with creators directly on.
Right, got it. And what's the future look like for advertising on Roblox?
Yeah, I think Roblox is a fairly open platform, and we want it to be open. We want to actually drive the creativity and the innovation of our community. And that's what's really differentiated the platform. Like I said earlier, right, the creators investing in the platform, innovating on the platform, continuing to make revenue, continuing to bring more users, that drives the larger growth of the platform itself. So we'll continue to be very, very open and innovative and support our creators in multiple ways. But at the same time, we do want to make it easy for them to monetize. That's why we have our own investment in our ad platform, our own investment in more standard units, our own investment in actually building somewhat differentiated units, but that will be more templatized. We are looking at that too. So we will work on a bunch of capabilities around advertising, and we will make sure that the policies that we have are very compliant and that it is consistent across whoever is ultimately selling in the market.
Right. Okay, great. Let's move on to a quick lightning round. So relatively quick questions, quick answers. So what is your biggest market challenge?
We are early in the business right now. So the biggest challenge when you're doing a 0-1 business from an advertising perspective is just getting out there and making sure that people understand the strength of our platform, the differentiation of our platform, the size of our audience, the engagement of our audience. So just getting the word out there is where we are spending a lot of time right now.
What's your number one competitive advantage?
Oh, the massive reach of the Gen Z audience and the engagement that they provide.
That makes sense.
Anywhere else, yeah.
Yeah. And final question. If Roblox advertising was an animal, what animal would it be?
Maybe a lion.
Why a lion?
I don't know. The king of the jungle. We want to it's a gaming platform. So I was just using a gaming analogy here, but that could be the closest one.
Always a safe answer. Everyone, a lot of lions. We get a lot of lions. All right, Louqman, thank you so much for joining us. This is a very interesting conversation.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you for the conversation, and take care.
Thank you for listening to the Marketecture Podcast. New episodes come out every Friday, and an insightful vendor interview is published each Monday. You can subscribe to our library of hundreds of executive interviews at marketecture.tv. You can also sign up for free for our weekly newsletter with my original strategic insights on the week's news at news.marketecture.tv. And if you're feeling social, we operate a vibrant Slack community that you can apply to join at adtechgod.com.